for entertainment that is right up your alley, featuring unsigned artists and small businesses from across the globe that share the grassroots local determination to grow. Do you see what I've done with those rhymes back there? So when you see me on live, I want you to comment, like, and share.
It's time to move on, get on with this life. Get down with the get down, show me full of pride. Never let them see you cry, never wonder why. Just be yourself and shine like a star so bright. Yeah, yeah, shine like a star so bright, like a star. I used to hold you tight in the cold dark night. After we would fight, you would show fright. Now our love's gone astray, off to a new day. I'm thinking about my life, singing future without you ask my why. It's time to move on, get this life a going. Be strong, get this boat a rowing downstream, upstream, anywhere but air. Cause babe, I wish I never gave it the fear. Cause we gotta stay strong, no matter how long. Even if we're wrong, listen to the words of my soul. It's time to move on, get on with this life. Get down with the get down, show 'em you're full of pride. Never let them see you cry, never wonder why. Just be yourself and shine like a star so bright. Yeah, yeah, shine like a star. I'ma be a star, going so far to the moon and back. You'll see there's no one else like me. Rolling with the windows down, no longer carry a frown, heart on my sleeve. But that's just me, and I'm headed to the stars on the boulevard, screaming I'm alone. Keep this going while I'm still young, and there's no one to hold me back. Feels like I'm having a heart attack, oh baby. I'm better than that, but when you see me on the streets, you'll be lucky if I tip my hat to the course again. It's time to move on, get on with this life. Get down with the get down, show 'em you're full of pride. Never let them see you cry, never wonder why. Just be yourself and shine like a star so bright. Yeah, yeah, shine like a star so. Oh, won't you shine for me? Yeah, 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 yeah. It's time to move on, get on with this life. Get down with the get down, show 'em you're full of pride. Never let them see you cry, never wonder why. Just be yourself and shine like a star so.
What have you done to me? I swear you've made me crazy. Why did you lie to me? What did that achieve? Why do you bring me up just to tear me back down? This has been the last time. Swear you should have been mine. And I'm love sick. And I'm love sick. Found me out by the back door. Too many lines but wanting more. You make me come alive, 'cause with you I'm so high. And the way your arms caressed me See, that's what made me crazy. Never let me leave your side, but it was all just a lie. And what have you done to me? I swear you've made me crazy. What did you lie to me? What did that achieve? And I'm love sick. And I'm love sick. What have you done? What have you done? What have you done? And you made me crazy, I swear I'm crazy. You've made me crazy, yeah. Oh, and I'm love sick. And I'm love sick. And I'm love sick. And I'm love sick.
One, two, one, two, three. I got $1 and a dream. The city made me who I am, so now I wanna sing. I hardly ever weigh him, and now I gotta say it. Without the city, man, your buddy could've never made it. You're full of color, engaging us in the fun. You're unexpected, makes me hopeful. You're like a feast for the senses. Thank you for showing me what zest is. Let my city be what we want. We couldn't be we without you. No, I wouldn't be me without you. Now that's Stockton for you. Singing out S to the T to the O to the C to the K to the T to the O and then S to the T to the O to the C to the K to the T to the O and then my city got me doing backflips, but that ain't even the half of it. The city's on the come up from nightfall to the sun up. Resilience is our little name, yeah. Rich and creative, fertile and diverse, all the way from the ground to the sky. Full of playing, I don't gotta try. My city's lively, I'm telling you why, yeah. Sing, let my city be what we want. Let me be without you. No, I couldn't be without you. Now that's Stockton for you. Singing out S to the T to the O to the C to the K to the T to the O and then S to the T to the O to the C to the K to the T to the O and then you have been to the waterfront, well, welcome to land. So much here, Stockton, limited supply, yeah. Well, it's for the grace and all the wonders of life. Sing, oh, let my city be what we want. We couldn't be we without you. No, I wouldn't be me without you. Oh, now let's take it back to the Beulah, yeah. Say no. No, we couldn't be nothing without you. We couldn't be without you. Said S to the T to the O to the C to the K to the T to the O and then S to the T to the O to the C to the K to the T to the O and then
Good morning, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. That was Kyle Thomason with My City, and I think it's an appropriate song to cut in to talk about Stockton, too. Just because, you know, it's our city. I actually really love that song, and I can't even find him. If anybody knows him, can you tag him? Because I'm trying to find him on Facebook, and I can't. Well, I can find some Carl Thomasons, but it doesn't look like they're musicians. So if you know more than I do, let me know. Don't leave your girl hanging. Sorry for the late start this morning. Had some things I needed to take care of, but, you know, better late than never, right? I'm here now. That's what matters. So I got an idea this morning to talk about some of the interesting things. Oh, what's up, Lisa? Good morning. You need to send me in some music, girl. What the heck? There's a lot of facts about Stockton that even us longtime Stocktonians don't know. So today, I'm going to go over some of those with you guys with some music intermittently. And these first ones I've got here are off of Visit Stockton. Shout out to visitstockton.com. So yeah, let's just get into it, shall we? I'm sure a lot of you know, but just in case not everybody knows, Stockton wasn't the first name of our city. We're pretty familiar with Mudville. Some people are familiar with Tullaburg. I personally had never heard of Gas City. That would have been pretty dope. I think I'm gonna start using that. We're using Tullaburg and Mudville. Why not Gas City? That was kind of dope. So the guy that we are named after was a Commodore who was integral in the California-Mexican-American War. Not going to comment on that too heavily, but we were the first city in California to have a non-Native American or Spanish name. So that's something. That's a thing. More interestingly, though, I wanted to go into famous Stocktonians and movies that have been shot here. Because while not a lot of people make it out of Stockton, there have been several people, just from what I'm seeing, not really in the hip-hop industry, which is one of the major things I think is changing these days. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, we have somebody named Ace Andres. Ace Andres? I'm not familiar with them, but they're a singer-songwriter, lead guitarist. If anybody out there knows where they're from. Or actually, you know what? I do have a computer in my hands. I could just look that person up, huh? Andres, American songwriter. I mean, they pop right up. Guitarist, vocalist, and political activist. He is a rock musician that is overtly conservative. That's interesting. Trying to see what band this guy was in. Is he just a solo? Maybe he's just a solo guy. I don't know. I'm not really finding anything on that. But, so, and also, Janet Leigh. She's Jamie Lee Curtis's mother. I don't really know a lot of Janet Leigh's works, even though I do enjoy older movies. But most of us know Jamie Lee Curtis, and if you don't, then she's the lady that Michael's been trying to kill for 40 years. I believe the plaza that we have right outside the movie theaters is named after her. So that's one little interesting tidbit. I guess that means technically Jamie Lee Curtis is from here as well, but she's not on this list, so I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me. And like I said, you guys watching, if you have any insights on what I'm saying, let me know. Sorry, I'm here by myself, and something just knocked on the door, so. You dig? Darren Atkins is an author. I hope he's not Atkins. I feel like I would have heard that by now. There's also Dave Brubeck. If you guys aren't familiar, we have the Brubeck Institute at UOP. He's a very famous jazz musician. And I know a lot of dope jazz musicians that have come through that program at UOP. So that's really, to me, that's dope. Apparently Benjamin Holt was an inventor. I didn't know that. I wonder what he invented. Chris Isaac, for you closer to my age, you probably know who Chris Isaac is. If not, he was a very famous, I think maybe he'd be closer to a 1 or 2 hit wonder, but those hits got really big back in the 80s. There's a renowned indie rock band named Pavement. So, I never knew that either. There's a lot of singer-songwriters that come out of here, but no hip-hoppers. We do have Pismo, who went and did stuff, but that was more in the behind-the-scenes aspect. I'm sure we've had a lot of people that, not a lot of people, but I'm sure more people than we know have made it in the behind-the-scenes. Because it's behind the scenes, you don't know about it, you know? Another singer-songwriter, Grant Lee Phillips. For you sports ball fans, NFL wide receiver Webster M. Slaughter. It's quite the name, everybody's familiar with Alex Spanos, billionaire real estate developer. And for those of you that didn't know, he owns the San Diego Chargers. More sports ball for you. I went to Stag and I didn't know that he was a football coach. So there's that. And then, of course, Nick and Nate Diaz. Now, I think they've probably done the most for putting Stockton's name out there. All these other people came from Stockton, but they weren't out there, like, promoting it, really representing the city. And there's several people that I've talked to from outside of California. And it used to be, I say, oh, I'm from Stockton. It's, by Sacramento. They usually know Sacramento because state capitals. But these days when I say Stockton, they're like, oh, the Stockton Slap. Oh, Nick and Nate Diaz. So I think that's pretty dope that not only are they out there doing their thing, but they're not leaving their city behind. And I love the support they show for young artists out here. Our next music break, the song I was about to play is by a young artist named Dilly Cherry Coke. And they've been really pushing her, and them Bag Boys have their support. And it's just cool that as big as they are, they haven't lost sight of where they're from. They're Stag alumni too. And then as far as movies filmed in Stockton, I had no idea the amount of movies. Although a lot of these I've never heard of. I was actually in a movie not too long ago. With I forget his name, with the director of Black Panther. It's filmed at some abandoned women's prison out on Arch Road. It's pretty dope. Jazz Marie was in it. Rudy Goodface was in it. Detroit was in it. Zeps. So be on the lookout. I don't even remember what the movie's called. I'm horrible at this stuff. But once I figure that out, I'll let y'all know, and you can be on the lookout. I'm an extra. I play a visitor in a visitation scene. I didn't get to say nothing. No. So, going down the list. 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. And again, let me know if any of you guys have heard of these movies. 7 Brides, 7 Brothers, All the King's Men. I feel like I've heard of that one. I know I've heard of American Graffiti. Well, American Graffiti 2 is the one that was shot here. Actually, I need to note that down. Go rewatch that because that's part of the culture I'm in. You know? Gotta keep it real. Keep it real. Shout out to Julie from Stockton Floral. Her birthday is on the 16th. So come through Mixed Metaphors and say happy birthday to her, because she's going to be a guest judge. It just popped up on my Facebook, so I thought I'd let y'all know. Yeah, November 16th, come on out to Blackwater Cafe and enjoy the 6th, whatever the equivalent to annual for monthly is, Mixed Metaphors competition. We only have this and one more left for our championship edition. I'm going to have a championship edition in January with all the winners competing. So if you want a chance at that, which will be a much bigger prize and much bigger everything, you got 2 more chances. So come on down to Blackwater. Come on down, come on down. An American Murder, The Big Valley, Atlanta Child Murders, all these murder movies made in Stockton. Why? Something Birdie, Blind Man Sees Farthest, Blood Alley, Bound for Glory, Coast to Coast. What the heck? Cool Hand Luke? Cool Hand Luke was shot in Stockton. Are you serious? That movie has been referenced. I don't even think I've seen it, but it's been referenced all through pop culture, like obviously since before I was born, so before I can remember. But that's dope. That's another one. I gotta go. Now I gotta watch it. Cool Hand Luke was shot in Stockton. And what's up, Rudy? I just mentioned you and the movie. Do you remember what the movie was called that we were extras in, that we just shot? Because I don't remember at all. Coyote, and they put in parentheses, not widely distributed. So I'm guessing all these other movies were. And I'm just not up on game. Dead Man on Campus. That sounds really familiar, but I don't think I've seen it. Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, Dreamscape. I'm fairly certain. A Day and a Night. Thank you. A Day and a Night. Be on the lookout for A Day and a Night, and you'll see a bunch of us Stocktonians in there not talking to y'all. Milling around and stuff. The guys actually, you'll see them a lot more regularly. They had more scenes to shoot, but Jazzy and I, we got to just be visitors. But it was a super dope experience, and I appreciate that I was involved in it. So thanks, Rudy, I think you were the one that put most of us up on that. So Dreamscape, Flubber was shot in Stockton. Thank you. Directed by Joe Robert Cole. I'm pretty sure that was the director of Black Panther. But what the heck? Flubber? Now that makes me think, was that UOP that he was in? I gotta go back and watch that now. Man, Robin Williams was in Stockton, y'all. That's cray-cray. Cray-cray. Friendly Fire. That sounds really familiar. Glory Days. You know, I feel like a lot of these movies sound familiar because my grandma had them on VHS, because I do know there was a pretty big director, Larry Franco, that was from not here, but the same little town right outside of here that she was. So I feel like he did a lot of stuff in this area. That's crazy, though. Flubber. God's Little Acre, High Time. Hot Shots Part 2. Part 2. That sounds interesting. More American Graffiti was also shot here. I know we have a really deep history in graffiti. One of the things we discussed at the panel that we had after October Fresh was that I didn't realize before then, but Stockton's been on it, guys. Oklahoma Crude, Porgy and Bess, Raiders of the Lost Ark. What the heck? That is Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones was filmed in Stockton. Rampage. That is an interesting one, because if you guys are familiar with the corner of Alpine and El Dorado, there's a little, what is it? I think it's a parking lot right there now. It's like the northwest corner. It used to be empty for the longest time because It was the site of, okay, let me backtrack a little bit. Rampage is this movie about a serial killer from Stockton. He lived on that corner. And so that corner was empty for the longest time because they didn't know whether they had found all of the remains. And you can't build on a property that may have human remains on it. I mean, that should be pretty common sense. But yeah, so I'm guessing within the last 10, 15 years that they've found all the remains or concluded that it didn't matter anymore. Maybe a statute of limitations passed or something. So there's a parking lot there now. But I've lived around the corner from it all my life, so I was always weirded out by that. Something called RPM, Sam Whiskey, Skipping, Strawberry Statement, Take the Money and Run, The Big Country, The Sure Thing, This Is Spinal Tap. That sounds awfully familiar as well. Valley Girl and World's Greatest Athlete. So, like I was saying, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on in Stockton that most of us aren't privy to, and it continues to go on in Stockton that we aren't privy to. But I'm going to take a quick break, play a couple tunes for you, and first one will be from Dilly, Cherry Coke. Like I said, I believe she's 16. She's a really dope artist. This was one of her singles. I think it might be her first. Not sure, but she did just put out another one. So hopefully she gets it to us soon. So go ahead and enjoy some Dilly, and I'll be back in a few.
Now we're sitting by the pool, sipping cherry Coca-Cola. That's what lovers do, but will I want you when I'm sober? You know how it gets when the sugar hits your body, racing through my mind like a brand new Maserati. Plastic cups on the nightstand. Now you're messing up my night.
lovely, beloved sister. Fun fact, those four are the manager of the station's daughters. They have the ability to harmonize to where they sound like 13 people singing at once. It's crazy. But they got old and went off to college, so they don't sing no more, but hopefully they'll be back one day. All right, I do want to mention thank you, Mr. Paulus, for bringing this up. I don't know if you guys have heard of sister cities. Sister cities or twin towns are a form of legal or social agreement between towns, cities, countries, oblasts, whatever that is, prefectures, provinces, regions, states, and even countries in geographically and politically distinct areas to promote cultural and commercial ties. I believe it's out over on Waterloo by the whatever Mexican restaurant that is right there where Harding and all those places meet. I believe they have a sign over there. But some of our sister cities are Shizuoka, Japan. And some of these I'm going to say very wrong. I took Japanese, so I should have got that one right. But Iloilo, Philippines, Impalm, Mexico, People's Republic of China, Foshan, Parma, Italy, Battambang, Cambodia, and Asaba, Nigeria. Now, I would have to go look into what exactly that means, though, that we have cultural and commercial ties. Does that mean, like, it's easier to do business within those cities from over here? Or I'll have to look into that. So many notes for myself while I'm talking to y'all about stuff. Look into what sister cities benefit. So I do have people coming in right after me, so I'm going to have to wrap this up really quick, but I did want to touch on my boy Elon Musk. He's back at it again, y'all. He's back at it again. Apparently yesterday he tweeted that he just deleted his titles from Tesla. This dude, man, as smart as he is, I'm convinced that there's got to be an overall point to this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's just spiraling out. But I feel like there's probably some end goal that will make all of this make sense for him in the future, because he's just out here wilding. But I mean, he's in a position where he can do that. So that's cool. I just wanted to give him a shout out because he's doing it again. Sorry. And then I just wanted to touch, because it is only a week away, one more time on the propositions that we have on this upcoming ballot. So I'm just going to go through them as quickly as possible in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So number one is affordable housing. The largest share of the borrowed funds would go toward building and renovating multi-unit housing through a loan program administered by state officials. Apartment units would be reserved for those with incomes below the median level in their community. A number of projects are envisioned for funding from these bonds, including housing near public transit in urban areas and help for farm workers in rural areas. Say that 5 times fast, why don't you? $1 billion of the bond would be set aside to help provide home loans to military veterans. Other than detractors of bond measures on the principle of government debt, the only real criticism of Proposition 1 is that it wouldn't provide enough to alleviate California's housing woes. And I'm not going to read the rest because this sounds a little biased. Thing is, debt ain't no joke. You know, like, it's great to want to help and blah, 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 but we can't just keep pretending like debt doesn't mean anything, especially for a bankrupt city. We're just barely coming back from that. So that is something that should weigh heavily into a decision. Oh, Elon Musk. Angelo, you met Elon Musk? He seems like he would be a dope person. I mean, he's 420 friendly, so it's got to be chill, right? So Prop 2 is homeless housing. The proposal is unlike the other bond measures in that it doesn't propose borrowing to be paid back from the state's general fund. Instead, it would pay back $2 billion in long-term borrowing for homeless housing, with some of the dollars collected from a millionaire's tax enacted by voters in 2004. Lawmakers tried to pass the proposal without voter approval, but relented after critics challenged the attempt in court. The dollars are earmarked for mental health services, and so Proposition 2, known as the No Place Like Home program, proposes building and rehabilitating housing for homeless Californians with mental health needs. State officials would have a large role in overseeing how the money is used. So, from what I remember the last time I talked about it's providing housing that helps both mental and drug addicts, because most people that use drugs have a form of mental illness. And the way it stands now, a lot of those halfway houses that are for drug addicts, once they come down from the drugs and it's clear that they have a mental problem, they're not helped further. Or at least that's what I understand. My mom knows more about that stuff and does more with that stuff than I do. She has raised 4 kids. 3, water supply projects. So again, Proposition 3, no bond measure on this November's ballot is bigger. So this would cost us the most money, but it's water. That's kind of the most important thing in life aside from air. No bond measure on this November's ballot is bigger. $8.9 billion in total borrowing, or more densely worded than Proposition 3. I'm not sure how to make this sentence make sense, so I'm just going to read it. Ballot is bigger, or more densely worded than Proposition 3, which would fund a variety of water projects and programs across the state. Over 4 decades, analysts project the total cost of principal and interest to California taxpayers will be about $17.3 billion. While Propositions 1 and 2 are bond measures created by state legislators, this proposal was written and put on the ballot by a consortium of agricultural interests, aided by a few conservative and wildlife conservation and wildlife organizations. Not surprisingly, water projects that the group support are the primary beneficiaries of the ballot measure. So it's a little biased, is what that sounds like to me. But again, I mean, I'm the believer that most everything has a catch to it, and you just have to weigh the pros and cons. Everything has pros and cons. Number 4, children's hospitals. The second of 2 bonds placed on the ballot by interest groups. This measure asks voters to approve borrowing $1.5 billion for improvement in children's hospitals across California. The total cost with interest payments is expected to be about $2.8 billion. State law identifies 8 private nonprofit hospitals, as well as the children's programs at 5 University of California Medical Center campuses as children's hospitals. Okay. Most of the Proposition 4 funds would be reserved for the private hospitals, including the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, the Rady Children's Hospital in San Diego, and the Lucille Packard Children's Hospital at Stanford University. Okay, well, I feel like there's a conflict there for government money to be going to private things. Like, I'd have to do a little more research on that, but I don't know. Like, because like, everybody can't go to St. Joseph's, which is a private hospital. If you don't have insurance or whatever, they can turn you away. That's why you have to go to county. So my only thing is, if we're upgrading these hospitals, are they going to be accessible to everyone? Or are they going to be only accessible to people with money? So, yeah, I'd have to look into that, because that's kind of weird. Why would we be funding private things through? Anyways, 5 is the property tax break for older homeowners. This measure, written in place on the ballot by California's real estate industry, would offer a property tax break to homeowners 55 and older. Simply put, it allows them to carry a portion of their property tax payment with them when buying a new home. The formula is a bit more complicated than that, relying on both the selling price of the existing home and the tax assessed value of the new home. For seniors who downsize in home value, it could lower their existing property tax payments. For those who buy something more expensive, it will shrink the size of the new, larger property tax bill. Not surprisingly, Proposition 5 would also shrink property tax revenues statewide. A nonpartisan analysis estimates about $1 billion less in the revenues that fund local public safety services and schools. Okay, my thing with that, yeah, I know that sounds really bad, but at the same time, I think if anybody deserves a tax break, it's our senior citizens. So, suck it up, guys. I don't know. If the only con is that we don't get their money, I don't really think that's a con, because so many of their generation lost their Social Security and everything already anyway. So to me, it'd be more just balancing things out. Okay, 6, repealing California's gas tax increase and new vehicle fee. Okay, so this one, they want to give a tax break on the gas. The con is that a bunch of money that's going to roads and whatnot won't be there. But from what because this one I've actually had a chance to look into a little bit, from what I've understood is we're already not using the money that we get in the right way. And I mean, y'all know our gas is ridiculous in this state. I was in Ohio and flabbergasted they paying $2 something. I haven't paid $2 for gas since I've been driving, and that's been almost 15 years. So can't say that I'm against that. But remember, these are my personal views and don't reflect the opinions of the voice of Stockton on KXVS. 7 is a daylight saving time all year long. I'm not in school no more, so I don't really care about this one, if I'm going to be honest, but it wouldn't cost anybody anything. Pros are you don't have to worry about switching the time, I guess. They say that it's archaic because it was for farmers back in the day, but for those of you that are in school, you know that once that time changes, you no longer going to school in the dark in the morning, which is beneficial. And you get to trick or treat a little earlier. No, actually, I think it happens right after Halloween. I think it's on the 2nd of November, if I'm correct. Okay, we got 3 more, and I got to wrap this up. Good morning, I'm Denise. I'm going over the propositions, about to get to your favorite one in just a few. 8, profits at kidney dialysis centers. So they want to limit the amount of profits that a dialysis center can make. And my Pandora keeps playing this advertisement, which is a vote no on Prop 8, which is crazy because back in 2008, no on Prop 8 means you wanted to equality marriage for everybody. Now, no on Prop 8 means you want dialysis centers to be able to overcharge people. Now, I can't say that they all overcharge, but I have personal experiences with dialysis centers and my family members, and they're kind of shady. The downside I've heard is that a bunch of places will have to shut down if that's what they do, but I don't think that's the case. There's a bunch of high-ups on top that can take a little bit of a pay cut, if you ask me. So 9 is, why was this measure removed from your ballot? Oh, number 9 don't exist no more. Oh, wow. It was trying to split California into 3 new states. And the court said such an action can't be taken through a ballot initiative. I mean, it might be a little beneficial for California to not be so big, because then you don't have as many different opinions to worry about, you know, but that's just my personal opinion, that humans shouldn't live in colonies the size of ants because we're not that type of species. So number 10, Number 10, Proposition 10. Tell him, Denise. 10 is the battle over rent control. Most ballot measures ask voters to write new laws. Proposition 10 simply asks whether to erase an existing one. The fight, however, is over what effect doing so will have on Californians who struggle to find an affordable place to live. The measure would repeal a 1995 law that places limits on the ability of local communities to impose rent control. What is unclear is whether that would help or hurt when it comes to addressing high rent prices. Critics have argued Proposition 10 will lead property owners to cease renting out apartments and could lead to rent control on single-family houses. Supporters say cities and counties might find ways to keep that from happening before imposing a blanket mandate for cheaper rents. Now, one thing I didn't realize about this was that it would be repealing a law as opposed to... Oh, repealing to... Okay, I get it. And Denise McCoy says, vote yes on Prop 10. She is a real estate agent in Sacramento, so she knows about these things. So lastly, before I get out of here, rest breaks for ambulance workers. California Supreme Court ruling in 2016 set the stage for this proposal, an effort that would require ambulance crews to be on call through their rest and meal breaks. I'm kind of iffy about that because those people are in charge of people's lives, and I feel like they should be rested. But then again, I understand sometimes there might not be the availability of people to cover, so they might have to do that. But as I said, I do have a show coming in right after me, and I'm actually a little late on the exit here, so hopefully I made those propositions make a little more sense to you. You got some interesting facts on Stockton, and enjoy some of our local artists. I will be back tomorrow morning, and we'll see what I talk about then. All right, guys.